I drive a 2003 Honda Odyssey. Can we just start with Odyssey? That's great. I'm not unveiling this car, guys. It's the Odyssey, yeah. My name is Brady. I drive a 2001 Honda S2000. Both my uncles were kind of into the muscle car scene, right? They both had third-gen Camaros, and they had basically the Skittles of third-gen Camaros. One had a red one, and one had a yellow, one had a green, and it was crazy. I don't understand it, but they would always take them out on cruise nights, and I remember very vividly, I was like 5 years old, they took me out on one, and that car, it just sounded crazy. I don't know, I loved it. I was 5 years old, I didn't understand it, it just sounded cool. And I think that maybe was kind of what sparked it initially. And from there, you couldn't get me out of the driver's seat. In high school, I thought I wanted to be a bit of a muscle car guy. I had a 5.7 2006 Charger, and I thought I was top shit. It was bone stock, had a Borla exhaust. If you remember me 5 years ago, I ran Unity MFG. That was the car that started Unity. And I was the only guy in the group with a V8, and I thought it was gonna remain that way. My next car I was hoping would be a 2013 Mustang GT, and then I got gapped by an Evo. Shout out Declan. Declan, my roommate, he has a white Evo 7, and him and I were just doing roll races, and he put bus lengths on that Charger. So 6 months later, I bought an Evo. And from there, I think the JDM bug just caught me, and from then, I've been a JDM guy ever since. The Evo the guys never really liked it that much. I mean, you know, Evos get bad raps. They're not really reliable, and I understand, but for the longest time, they were saying, get an S2000, get an S2000. I'm gonna be real, I walked through countless car shows and I walked right by the S2000s. It was never my cup of tea. Maybe I just didn't understand them, and that's all right. And I don't know, I guess I started looking on Facebook Marketplace and I just kept seeing these ads come up for these S2000s. And there's one that I remember vividly. It was on bags, had some BBS wheels on it as well. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and trade him the Evo for it. And we almost got there, and eventually the deal fell through. So at that point I was like, okay, I need to find another one. Then this one came along. A guy locally bought the car, and from there, I don't know what sparked it, but out of the blue, I hit him up and I said, what are the odds you trade? The Evo at this point was at its best. I had just unveiled it at World of Wheels, and it was looking its absolute best at that point. And I said, would you trade? And he said, yeah. The car itself is, at this rate, I mean, you can see it behind me, it's very Porsche inspired. We painted it Porsche Fjord Green. That wasn't the original color we wanted to paint it. We were gonna keep it very true to the Honda Acura family. We were gonna paint it Acura Apex Blue Pearl. And out of the blue, I think Derek, the guy who painted the car, he showed me a spray out for Fjord Green. And at that point, I was like, yep, that's the color. It has to happen. The car was never supposed to be what it looks like now. It was supposed to be a bit of a weekend cruiser. Literally the only reason it looks like this is because I wasn't willing to give up the TE37s. The TEs that are on the car right now were from my original build on the Evo, and they're my dream spec. They're phase 3 concave. If they're not phase 3, I don't actually know, but don't come at me, Dave. I know you're thinking that. The only reason this car exists and looks as it is now is because of those TE37s that I didn't want to give up or sell. So yeah, we put a Voltex flare kit on it and made the wheels fit, and from there we kind of had to build around those flares so it didn't look a little wonky, right? So we ended up doing the Voltex bumper, and at that point it started to be a little bit of a Voltex car. I built this car not to be a showpiece. I built it to be kind of a testament of what we could do here on a budget at Respec. And this car, you're gonna see this car, I'm gonna drive the shit out of it. That's what I built it to do. So Gimli is an absolute dream of me to be able to go out and do the high performance driving education. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a professional race car driver with this thing yet. I have a lot to learn. I've driven it twice since I've owned it. Eventually, Maybe I'd like to do some more Voltex bits. I'm still missing the skirts and the diffuser, so I'd like to pick those up at some point and really finish off the Voltex vibe of the build. And then I'd like to dial in suspension. Suspension is a big thing for me. Right now it's on Buddy Club coilovers. I didn't really budget for any higher end coilovers in this phase of the build. So before we track it, I really want to get some AST Moton coilovers for this thing and get it running right. There's a lot of people I want to thank for this car, and it comes down to the two main guys that were part of this build, and that's Tegan and Derek. Tegan was the one who got me into the platform. He was the one that was pushing me to get an S2000. He had an S2000 before, so I think it kind of hit home when I got mine. And he was one of the first guys to jump on it, and when we ended up blowing the engine, he was willing to come out on the weekend and pull it out with me, and that was a huge help. So he's been a massive help on the mechanical side, and I could not do any of the mechanical stuff without him. Frankly, I don't know enough about these engines to really dial them in, and he's the master. He's the only one I'll ever let touch my engines. Derek is the one who did all the bodywork and the paint on the car, and I mean, if you guys know Derek, he's a legend in the Manitoba car scene. Nobody does paint jobs like him. So to be able to have the Derek Benjamin stamp of approval on this car and to have that Derek touch on the paint is really special to me. And to be able to go out to shows and display his work is a true honor, and I'm pretty excited. Kendall was a big help. I call him my car moderator. He was the one that was telling me what parts were not a good idea to put on this car and to go for the more expensive one, obviously. So maybe he's a reason why my bank account is as hurt as it is with this car, but I think he understood the vision and he didn't want to let my standards drop. So he was a big reason why this car has the high quality parts it has today. And obviously Jeremy was a big part of this. I wouldn't have been able to have as many opportunities with this car and with any of the cars I've owned without Jeremy's help. So he was a big help in kind of helping us guide where the direction of this car was going to go. And obviously he runs respec, right? He's the one that puts the lights up. So to have a space that we can build these dream cars is special, not just to me, but to the whole respec team. There's so many people I want to thank, like Dave. Dave, you've been a massive help. Thank you for believing in me. Kerwin has been there since the beginning. He was one of the first guys that hit me up and said, yo, you got an S2000? Like, let's meet up. I got a shift knob for you for free. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. And so I met up with him, and that was the night before the engine blew. So that was the last time he had seen the car. But ever since, he's been rooting me on, and that's been a huge help to get this car done. Forbidden USA, particularly Alberto. Alberto was a massive help with getting this carbon hardtop out. And honestly, it's the best fitting hardtop I could have ever asked for. So I'm definitely grateful for them for hooking one up with me. Landon and Rebecca hooked up the aluminum door cards. Unbelievable quality for the price. Like if anybody is looking for an aluminum door card or dash solution, I highly recommend. They absolutely knocked it out of the park for me, and I'm so grateful. I want to thank JRP for supplying a lot of the parts for this car. Leo, a First Gear Project as well. He was one of the ones that helped us source a lot of the JDM parts for this. I mean, they're the ones supplying the parts. So without them, we wouldn't be able to build it. So I got to thank those guys as well, for sure. If I could give any advice to somebody on the fence of building a car or, taking that next step forward and getting their car painted, I know that's a big thing for a lot of people that aren't sure if they want to paint or wrap. If you're kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you can't be in this scene. If you want to commit, you got to fully commit. And I think if you want to build a car and you want it to be of a certain standard, I think you should just do it. Building a car to a certain standard really opens a lot of doors for you as a car enthusiast. I just liked filming cars. I mean, you guys have probably seen me on TikTok at some point. I met Jeremy and the respec team through building an Evo and starting Unity. And now we've kind of taken that one step forward. I mean, we have the 4-rotor RX-7. You guys can't see it, but I'm looking at it right now. I'm doing a video by a 4-rotor RX-7, and I'm showing off my Voltex S2000. If you asked me where I'd be 3 years ago, I would have laughed at you, and I would have, drove off in my stock Evo with PVZ pipe on my blow-off valve. No, when you commit to authenticity and you commit to a certain standard, doors open, and that's true in any standard, in any occupation. You put that kind of effort into your job, into your career, doors are going to open. And I think this is kind of a testament to having enough discipline to put into a car you can apply to your life. Just the standard you have for you in your normal life, apply to your car, and that will open up a ton of doors and you have no idea. Build your car to drive, not to show off to other people. Build it for you, build it for what you want to do. Doesn't matter if you have a different part or a inferior part than somebody else on your car. If you're enjoying it 10 times as much as they are, you're the real winner. And I think if you build your car for you and you build it to your standards and you build it for what you love to do, I think you're the real winner. So just get out there, just do it, and chase your dreams. That's the best I got.